The morning sun rises over the Palatine Hill, casting a warm golden glow across the marble rooftops of Rome. Inside a sprawling palace, still quiet in the early light, a woman awakens. Her name is Livia. She is not a gladiator, a general, or a senator. She is not a woman who commands legions or leads men into battle. Yet, the empire lives and breathes at her very command. Her public image is that of the perfect Roman matron, serene, modest, and devout. But behind the serene facade, this woman is a master strategist, a political force, and a survivor in the most dangerous game in the world. She is the wife of the Emperor Augustus, and she is the most powerful woman in Rome. The story we are told is often black and white. Livia Drusilla is either an idealized, virtuous matron or a cold, poison-wielding villain who removed every obstacle to her son's claim to the throne. But this is a tragically simple myth. The truth is that Livia was not a villain, but a pragmatist. She was not simply an empress. She was a co-architect of the Augustan regime. She understood that in a world where a wrong glance could lead to exile or death, power was not taken through force, but through influence. Her life was a constant performance, a masterclass in diplomacy, and a testament to what one woman could achieve in a world built for men. We'll explore her day, from the quiet business of the morning to the perilous politics of the evening banquet. Every choice, every word, every ally, was a potential step toward absolute power, or a step toward an early grave. Subscribe to unlock the secrets behind the powerful figures who shaped the Roman Empire. To understand Livia's day, you must first understand her world. The Roman palace on the Palatine Hill was not a simple home. It was the administrative nerve center of an empire that stretched from Britain to Egypt. Every corridor, every garden, every banquet hall was a stage for political maneuvering. Augustus's reign was built on the fragile peace he had forged after decades of civil war. He needed an image of stability, virtue, and tradition, and Livia was the living, breathing embodiment of that image. Her presence beside him legitimized his new order, a symbol of the stable family life he was trying to bring back to Rome. Her role was essential. Her position was sacred, and her every action was a piece of imperial propaganda. The story we are told is often black and white. Livia Drusilla is either an idealized, virtuous matron or a cold, poison-wielding villain who removed every obstacle to her son's claim to the throne. But this is a tragically simple myth. The truth is that Livia was not a villain, but a pragmatist. She was not simply an empress. She was a co-architect of the Augustan regime. She understood that in a world where a wrong glance could lead to exile or death, power was not taken through force, but through influence. Her life was a constant performance, a masterclass in diplomacy, and a testament to what one woman could achieve in a world built for men. Livia's day began long before the Roman masses. She would rise before dawn, not for leisurely contemplation, but for work. While her husband, the emperor, was the public face of the empire, Livia managed its heart, the vast imperial household. Her morning began, not with frivolous dressing, but with the quiet business of the day. She would review accounts, sign off on petitions from people seeking her influence, and dictate letters. Her staff of highly educated Greek scribes and handmaidens would work tirelessly under her watchful eye. As the sun reached its zenith, her day shifted from private administration to public performance. Her reception rooms would be filled with senators, governors, and wealthy citizens, both men and women, all vying for a moment of her time. She was a silent partner in Augustus's rule, a back-channel for favors and a powerful intercessor. A word from Livia could secure a promotion for a senator, a pardon for a client, or a contract for a merchant. It was a power wielded not through command, but through a knowing glance and a carefully chosen word. Her afternoons were dedicated to overseeing the immense imperial household and her own vast personal fortune. The evening brought the most significant political event of the day, dinner. These banquets were not just meals. They were carefully choreographed theatrical productions. The seating arrangements, the wine served, the topics of conversation, every detail was meticulously planned to convey subtle messages of favor or disapproval. When the guests departed, Livia would remain with Augustus, her day concluding with a private, intimate debrief of the day's political chessboard. She was not just his wife. She was his most trusted confidant, advisor, and a partner in the truest sense of the word. What do you think was the most dangerous part of her day? The public reception, or the quiet conversation at the dinner table? Tell us in the comments below, and stick around, because the most shocking truths are still to come. Our knowledge of Livia's life comes from a mix of sources, some of them deeply biased. Ancient historians often wrote for a political purpose, And Livia, as the mother of the controversial emperor Tiberius, was an easy target for those who disliked the Julio-Claudian dynasty. Tacitus, a senator under a later dynasty, famously claimed she had an insidious influence, but other sources, like the writings of Cassius Dio and Suetonius, offer a more complex portrait. The archaeological record also paints a picture. Excavations of the house of Livia on the Palatine show a relatively modest home for an empress, filled with beautiful but tasteful frescoes, and the discovery of thousands of coins and statues bearing her image proves her role as a symbol of the empire was more important than any historian's gossip. For the first time, a woman's face was on imperial coinage, a sign that she was seen not just as a queen, but as a legitimate and powerful figure of state. Livia's story is a fascinating window into the role of women in ancient Rome. The ideal Roman woman was expected to be a mater familias, mother of the family, devoted to her husband, her children, and the household. Livia was all of those things, but she transcended the role, transforming it into a position of unmatched political power. She was a brilliant tactician who understood that in a world where her voice was not her own, she could use her influence to shape an entire empire. She understood the power of public image, meticulously cultivating her own as a symbol of virtue and piety. She also embraced a religious role, becoming a priestess of her husband's deification after his death, a position that solidified her own almost divine status. The great achievement of Livia's day was not in her wealth or her status, but in her extraordinary ability to operate and thrive in a world that was designed to limit her. Livia's story is more than just a historical footnote, it is a timeless study of power, influence, and the struggle of a woman to operate in a system not built for her. Was she a villain who poisoned her rivals, as some have claimed? Or was she a hero who secured her family's future at all costs? Perhaps she was neither, but simply a survivor. A woman who understood the game better than anyone else, and was willing to do what was necessary to win. Her day was not filled with leisure and luxury, but with quiet battles, calculated moves, and the constant pressure of living a public life under a microscope. It proves that the reality behind the historical record, and behind the public title, is often far more complex, and far more compelling than we could ever imagine. What do you think? Was Livia a hero or a villain? Let us know in the comments. If you're fascinated by the hidden lives of Roman figures, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and click here to watch our next video. The brutal day of a Roman doctor. A day of amputations and bizarre cures,